Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another Color Craze combination for you guys today. This is the color combination that Janet Fritz and myself have picked out. I'm also playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. This is the gorgeous sketch that I will be lifting, but I'm actually going to flip it so that way the photos are on the right side. And the sketch was created by Miss Carrie's Creations. So anyways, I picked out two distress inks. One is an oxide and one is an ink. And then I have this awesome stencil from the Crafters Workshop, and I am trying to share with you guys the number. I think it's 2375, but it's all of these broken little squares. I also have this uber old timeless textured stamp set from Stampin' Up! That I plan on using on my layout for today. This is the product number if you guys need to go check it out for like eBay or something like that. From Pretty Little Studios, the Grateful Heart collection. I love this collection, you guys. That combination with the purples and the blues were amazing. But I also have a little bit of Rosie Studios mixed in there as well. So I have some photos here of my husband and I sitting on our little bench out front, and our neighbors stopped by to come visit us. The neighbors being deer. Yeah, those are the only people that do come and visit us. So anyways, I also have some die cuts that I thought I lost, and then I found them. So I'm going to use this word lovely day on my layout for today because there's a little black, I don't know if it's salt or pepper shaker in the photo. So I want to use that. And then I have this super old wood grain. I actually have two sheets of this, but neither one of them have the branding strip. So I'm not really sure where this collection came from. I want to say My Mind's Eye, but I don't know if that's true. I'm going to put everything on an 8.5 by 11 white cardstock. It's from Close to My Heart called White Daisy. And then I accidentally grabbed out the wrong texture paste. I wanted the white one, which I always get opaque and transparent confused. So I accidentally pulled out the transparent one. Janet tells me that an easy way to remember is transparent is like the transparencies that we used to use back in the day for school. I remember them. And then that's how I can remember. So I'm glad she gave me that really cool tip. All right, so I'm going to take my opaque texture paste, which I'm almost out of, and go ahead and put along all of my little squares in the little spots to represent some of the papers and elements, because I don't want to add a whole lot to this because I'm bringing in my Color Craze color using those embellishments from the Grateful Heart collection, because I didn't have any more of that paper either, or I definitely would have brought that in as well. Now, I brought in the wood grain because of the texture that all of these dishes are sitting on. The countertop or the faux photo, I'm not really sure, but they're sitting on a really cool, like, gray wood grain. So I wanted to bring that in, or it could be gray tile. So I'm going to take my, I believe it's fossilized amber is the yellow that I'm using, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my Stampin' Up! Stamp, which is, I just picked the random dots and stamp it all over the place. Like I said, I'm trying to bring in this color because I didn't have a whole lot of the color in the paper as you know, as far as pattern papers and things. So I am trying to mimic the sides and whatnot of Carrie's sketch just by using ink and my stencil work. So instead of paper, I'm also shrinking down her elements. So instead of having the right side, which actually on her original sketch, it's the left side. But I flipped it, so it's going to be on my right side. I don't have it go all the way down. I just keep it short because of the fact that my title is going to go across the page like that. And if I would have went down, it would have looked like a big kind of U shape. And I didn't want that. I wanted to separate that a little bit. I'm going to take some of my photos because they were at a distance and frame them in with those frames. Like I said, I'm trying to bring in that I don't know, like a deep purple. I'm not really sure. It's just gorgeous. But I'm going to try to bring those in so that way I can bring in the Color Craze. And it has that little bit of blue in there too. So it was just the perfect color combination. And I just wished that we would have found it a couple years ago because because that's when I used the Pretty Little Studio goodies was mostly last year. But this was an absolutely perfect. As soon as I saw these dishes, I thought of this collection. So, and I only have the elements left in this baggie, to be honest. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut down my piece. Carrie has this large pattern paper behind her two photos, and then I went ahead and I flipped her sketch and put it up in the corner so that way you guys have a reference of what it is I'm trying to do as far as her layout goes. Now, I was going to actually flip it the other way as well, but her title is kind of central, and I needed my title to go down a little bit because I've got that one large photo. And so I didn't have 3 of the same size or 2 of the same size photos. So I did definitely want to offset my title just a little bit so that way my larger photo stuck out a little bit more. And then of course my title was a lot larger than I expected it to be, but I still ended up using it because it was a lovely day. We love sitting out on that little bench. The poor bench needs new wood slats going across it. I think every time we sit on it, it feels like I'm going to fall right through because it does sit outside and it gets weathered. So it does need maintenance every now and then. But my husband was thinking about taking some old tools, rusted out tools that we've found along the way and making that into the bench seat. I'm just not sure if that would be more comfortable than sitting on, weathered wood. Actually, come to think of it, neither one of those sound comfortable. So some of the flowers that are in this collection do have that peachy color, and I was mostly going for the layout of the flower clusters as opposed to what was in the flower clusters. And I didn't think about it until after the layout was already put together that the clusters with the yellow flowers would have looked a lot better than the clusters with the peach flowers, because my color scheme was the yellow, the teal, and that gorgeous purple. For the purple that I'm using, it's seedless preserves, but I chose the oxide because I really wanted it to be a little bit softer than the seedless preserves that is in the ink. I'm also going to take that fossilized amber yellow and ink the edges of my wood grain paper so it just pops a little bit more. I thought about doing it in the brown, and then I realized that I'm trying to stick with the colors, but I still didn't catch on to that with the floral clusters that I will be using. So yes, I forgot briefly. I just picked out flowers that I think we're going to match. So I did pull out where that yellow flower does show a little bit more, because I do need to bring in that yellow because that's the bowl that is most prominent in our Color Craze combination. I love this. The dishes in this color combination just make me so happy. So I'm trying to arrange my title so that way it sits on the photos just right to where I have enough room, but I don't want them to be square onto that little card that I have for my title to sit on. I don't want it to be square on that. I want it to be peeking out a little bit more, but I also want the L and the Y to fit in between the patio and the sky and draw attention to the fact that there's deer in the yard. The deer actually blend in really, really well. So it's kind of hard to pick them out and to be able to see them. Now here I thought that I tucked in that peach color, but clearly I did not. I'm not really sure what the rules are for Color Craze, whether it's you can start with that color and then add to, because we did pick out a little bit of the green that was in there, which is in my photos. I picked out the black that was also in there, the wood grain that was in there. So there's other elements that I picked out from this photo, but peach was not one of them. It definitely wasn't. So I'm calling myself out. You didn't follow the rules. How dare you? But I do love the colors I just love this color combination. So, and I love the pop of black. I really do like that pop of black with this Grateful Heart collection from Pretty Little Studios. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my title on. Now, I didn't take all of this out. I'm not really sure why. That's so weird. Now I'm trying to think of whether or not I even edited this video for you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and glue all of my pieces down for the title. And then pretty much the layout is done. I don't end up adding a whole lot more. My little labels and dragonfly are representing the leaves and tags or tag that Carrie has in her upper, well, now my upper right, because I flipped the sketch. I don't plan on doing the tags and the banners that she has, but I do bring in the flowers and the leaves. I just bring them in and around where, to make it look like everything is cohesive, everything belongs type of deal. So I'm pretty much ignoring how she has her stuff and just using the pattern papers and the photo placement. And then, of course, the title. I dropped it down just a little bit, like I said, because of my larger photo instead of having it central. And then because of the size of my page that I'm doing, I shrunk her side element. So that way it didn't look like it was all one big, huge cluster on my page. So I wanted to separate the two. So, but other than that, that's about it for what I have for those. I'm going to finish up by sprinkling a couple flowers, making it look like they're falling down, which my yard has no flowers whatsoever because the deer come in and they eat them. So yes, I definitely am going to. I'm trying to figure out how to keep the deer from eating the flowers. That's what I really want to do. So I've got this cute little dark purple heart that I could not resist putting on the layout. I was going to scatter some flowers down below my dragonfly because Carrie has a leaf that goes and kind of hangs down, but I didn't really like that. I felt like it took away from the mixed media that I did to represent my papers that I didn't have. But I am going to add a little bit of enamel dots just to bring in some more of this blue. So I'm going to go ahead and scatter those all throughout the layout. And that is pretty much it for this layout. I absolutely love it. I love when Carrie does sketches for 31 days or for her Facebook group. She has a Facebook group on Facebook. So I do love when she shares her sketches. She's just got a great eye for design. So she's a really great person. And I love lifting her too. I love lifting her layouts. They just come out so clean and yet feels like she uses a lot of product without making it look like she used a lot of product. So I love that. All right, you guys, that is the layout for today. I absolutely love how it turned out. I used one of my round Tim Holtz sponge daubers. So I do have a little areas here and there where you can see where I was trying to rub over my stencil work. But other than that, I feel pretty, pretty okay that those are there, the little mistakes and whatnot. I think they look great. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Oh, all the links. I keep forgetting to talk about the links. I've got Janet Fritz's channel down below in the description box, so you can go and see what she is doing for Color Craze. I also have 2 links for Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. One is the YouTube playlist, where everybody is that is playing along here on YouTube is collaborating and putting it all in one playlist for you guys. It's a one-stop shop. And then the other one is the Facebook group. So you can go and check out not only series 13, but all the other 12 series before that one. And I mean, that is just a huge library of sketches to go check out. All right, that is all that I have. Carrie, thank you so much for this gorgeous sketch. And I will check you guys all later. Bye.